I'm Adam Walsh. You are listening to The Signal, and we are out and about in the community for this show. You know, the school year is winding down, and I thought, let's talk about school lunches. Let's see where things are at with school food and school meals, and let's see where things are headed. And we're going to talk about why things are so important. We're live at Rennie's River Elementary today. Thank you for tuning in to the show. All right, let me look around here. Let me see. Hey, lunch folks, what's on the menu today for lunch? What's the main meal? Goulash. All right, there's a bunch of helpers. There's an assembly line of food happening. Goulash is on the menu here today at the school. So there's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids are kind of cycling through. There's 1% chocolate milk. We've got some, and we're talking like this is the old-fashioned, if you grew up in the 80s like I did, this is the OG goulash that is being served up today with lots of nutrition. I want to bring someone into the conversation. John Finn, the Executive Director of the School Lunch Association. Thanks for helping line this up.
Hey, no, thank you, Adam. Happy to have you.
Why are school lunches important?
Well, school lunch is important for the exact reason that everybody needs to eat lunch, and children certainly need nutrition to learn. So for us at the School Lunch Association, we've been operating for the last 35 years as a registered charity, and we've been growing. So currently today we're in Rennie's River Elementary. This is just one of 42 schools in which our program currently operates as a charitable program on a pay-what-you-can model. And as you can see behind you, you referenced the goulash, but the children are also receiving 3 servings of fruits and vegetables today. We have diced pears, we have cucumbers on as well, and they get some garlic naan bread and a milk. So all that packaged in for a meal for what we ask parents if they can pay just $5 for a lunch of that size. So that's kind of a little bit about us and what we do. But yeah, it's certainly important, and I know we're very grateful to be here at Rennie's River, and you'll speak with the principal, Jennifer, and she can certainly speak to the need and the importance and how it impacts children as well.
School food's been in the news recently, right? So we heard from the federal government talking about funding over 5 years. The provincial government talks about it. And like I know you're saying, well, everyone needs lunch, everyone needs food, this is important. But when we hear these types of discussions from different levels of government, what does that say to you for what you're doing?
I think it certainly speaks volumes to a bit of a societal change in how we view how lunch is viewed in schools. School lunch is complex. It's complex on a number of levels based on facilities, based on populations, based on equipment. So when we have these levels of government now, we're very fortunate, very blessed. The provincial government has been extremely generous in working with us and with our community partners such as Food First NL. And so when we're having these conversations nationally, should be some interesting news to roll out as to what a national program actually looks like. But Newfoundland and Labrador is actually being looked at as the star model across the country right now.
When we talk about what you do and for the school lunch, for school lunches, how have things evolved over the years? Because you said how many, 40 odd schools?
42 schools today, and just about 8 years ago we were in about 16 schools. So we're talking about almost tripling our footprint in that amount of time. And as a registered charity, our model and method has always been we wouldn't approach schools to take away business from other private for-profit operators. We've always kind of took the seat back and asked, and when schools approach us, we would take them on one at a time where there was a need. And now we're certainly seeing a need across the province, so it's great that these conversations are continuing to happen.
We're going to talk more about the push and where things is going later, but just give us a little indicator around what you would like to see happen for your association and where things are going, and then we can go into it in detail afterwards. But I just want to kind of tee that up.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's 58 to 60,000 students in this province. Every child deserves a meal every day. It's as simple as that. That's what I would like to see. And currently, there's over 150 schools in this province without a food operator. Now, it's going to look different in rural. It's going to look different in urban centers, but I would just like to see every child have an opportunity to have a lunch every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an important point, and I've heard this through tons of other shows that I've done about you can't just have for anything in life, right? A cookie cutter approach won't work if you look at different center city, outside of city, urban, rural, different divides. The fact that some schools are older than others, some new schools, it's really easy to put stuff in. So you have to look at each school, each region, and see what works best for this school to have some kind of a school food program, right? I mean, just here at the school we're in right now, Rennie's River Elementary, not exactly a new school, right? But you've got an amazing person who's in a small kitchen turning out food for 150, 170 students a day.
Exactly, yeah. So the needs are going to vary. So our staff member Debbie behind us here, she prepares close to 200 meals almost every day in a kitchen that is probably, I would say, 6 by 8. With an oven the same that you would have at your house. Whereas a new school build, such as an Admiral's Academy out in Conception Bay South, state-of-the-art kitchen facility, walk-in coolers, walk-in freezers. So every school is different, and then the populations change, so every region of the province is different as well.
Yeah, so then if you go up to like the north coast of Labrador, Happy Valley Goose Bay, down on the Burin Peninsula, over in Corner Brook or the Northern Peninsula, all the schools, St. John's, Mount Pearl, Paradise, CBS, it's just a different look for each one and seeing what works best and how do we do this to make sure all the kids in these schools have lunch every day for those who are opting in.
Absolutely. Not to take a lunch term, but to eat an elephant, it's going to be one bite at a time,
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean? And working with our partners with government and Food First NL and other community groups that have a vested interest in seeing this succeed, and continuing our partnership with our good friends at the Kids Eat Smart program and the breakfast program and the wonderful work that they do as well.
Cool. I want to bring Ashley Byrne into the conversation here, a program coordinator, school food, Food First NL. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Program coordinator, school food.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I work with Food First NL, and so we collaborate with hundreds of communities right across the province, communities and organizations to advance everyone's right to food and to cultivate a province where everyone can eat with joy and dignity. So my role as a program coordinator of Food First NL, I lead all things school food, children and youth within our organization. And one of the kind of biggest tasks that I've been assigned to do is to do the rollout, to run the consultations and ultimately provide recommendations for the rollout for school food in the province.
What are consultations like?
Yeah, so for the consultations, we have firstly put together an amazing advisory committee of over 35 wonderful individuals. So these range from like all of the for-profit, not-for-profit and volunteer school food providers, as well as provincial government. So we have the health department, the education department of education. We have dietitians, regional nutritionists, just everybody at the table. And so that group, the advisory committee, also we get feedback and they're part of the consultation, but we also are running individual consultations as well as focus groups, and we are taking a very systems approach to this. So really we're hoping to talk with as many people as possible, parents, teachers, students, the school meal providers, of course, food producers, food distributors, just really anybody who's at all involved with school food. We want to speak with them and get their feedback, get their opinion, understand what they see as their role going forward with the expansion of school meals in our province. And all of that information will be summarized and put into a report, which will be provided to the provincial government and made public at the same time.
I love it. So we're here talking. We're live at Rennie's River Elementary School, and the cafeteria is in the lower level. So there's windows up above us, and there's a bunch of kids outside playing basketball or soccer or something. And anyways, just through the window, I just heard, "Are they making a movie?" So yes, you will get lots of questions like that through the show. To Dylan's cameraman, you go tell the kids that yes, we are making a movie, and it'll air on CBC Gem in the fall, and we'll see what they say.
Wonderful.
What have you learned from this job? Because you must be learning every day.
Every single day, yeah, it's amazing. The wealth of knowledge. I feel very, very lucky. I'm learning from everybody, the advisory committee members, the teachers, the parents. Talking to them about their experience with school food and everyone's roles and jobs has been amazing. We have some of our early recommendations that we've taken some of the initial consultations that we've done and all of what we've heard from that. So we have some great early recommendations that we've already provided to the province, and so some of those include making sure to prioritize ensuring equitable access to school food in rural and remote communities, which you kind of spoke to earlier, and especially those schools, even ones with very small student populations. We need to make sure that every single student, every single school is included in this program. Prioritizing access to culturally appropriate and traditional foods through the program would be amazing. amazing, particularly in Indigenous or high Indigenous population schools. Would be really wonderful. Including food literacy from the very beginning of the expansion would be wonderful, because we know that food literacy also greatly increases the uptake of healthy and balanced meals for kids. So, you know, being involved in growing food or talking about learning about it, in addition to also being served it, will also help reduce food waste, but increase nutritional intake of that food. And all
this,
of these
I mean, this
things.
gets down to social determinants of health type of stuff, right? If you have kids, young people learning about food and health and everything else as they get older and become adults and go out into adult life, they'll do a lot better than folks who are, I don't know, like me, 44, and like the learning curve by it. Now, mom and dad were fantastic growing up, but there were kids around me who, even some friends who still are not on the page that perhaps they could have been had they learned.
Yeah, big time. And actually, we know that the overall return on investment for universally accessible school meals has shown to provide a 2.5 to 7% return in human health and economic benefits. So, you know, you talked about, you know, having that education and you know, as you go into adulthood, you know, bringing that knowledge and those habits, healthy habits with you. And childhood, especially early childhood, is such an important time to kind of, you know, secure those habits and teach those that's the food literacy, so that we bring it with us throughout our lives.
We've also done, for the Signal, we've done shows on food insecurity. We've done other shows with Food First NL. There will be another one coming up July 4th about folks with lived experience, talking about the reality of trying to raise kids and afford food in the world today, right? So correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but here's my understanding from just doing a couple shows and talking to you, and please continue on with what I'm going to say here, but when you have a time where food is costing more, high inflation, if you're like a single parent family, if you're a newcomer family, new Canadian family, there's a higher likely that you could experience food insecurity. And then if you have food available at school that folks can have, I mean, that is a bit of an equalizer, and also just, I mean, great for young people and families for stressors and everything else. This is my learning from talking to you and your colleagues at Food First NL.
Yeah.
How am I doing?
They've done well, and you've done well.
Thank you.
No, I think that's incredibly accurate, actually, and we know that these programs are very much an equalizer. Not only do they reduce pressures on household budgets, you know, for everybody, but that's particularly significant for those who are a bit more stretched or feeling the pressures, you know, from you know, the current economy right now. But we also know that universally accessible school food programs also increase mothers' labor market participation by 5%, right? So that means that more mothers are able, you know, to then enter the workforce and contribute to the workforce when these programs are existing. And that's not even talking about employment opportunities for mothers through these programs, which is also something that we can talk about, you know, especially in rural communities. You know, for a lot of women, it can be very hard to join the workforce because, you know, they have kids in these communities where there's no childcare outside of the school hours. Well, if they're working during those school hours, you know, then, you know, they can look after their own children before and after school, and there's employment opportunities, creates employment where there currently isn't any. And we want those jobs to be well-paid living wages as well.
And connect these dots for me if you could. The other thing that I was, from reporting I've done and hosting for this show on food insecurity, parents, depending on the level of food insecurity, you will have parents who will start to skip meals, right, to feed their kids.
Yeah.
So what difference does it make if there's a lunch at the school then?
Yeah, so we actually know that the short-term benefits, so for families, they actually see $130 to $190 in savings per child per month when these programs are universally accessible, which is massive. And we also, in addition to kind of the economic benefits of it, we also know that it saves parents a lot of time. I know, you know, I have a 4-year-old. It takes a lot of time and a lot of creativity to create those lunches for them to bring. And that, you know, gives parents kind of those resources back in addition to kind of the savings that you have throughout the year.
Ashley Byrne, thank you for this. We'll be talking again in the next half hour. Folks, you're listening to The Signal live on location at Rennie's River Elementary School. Coming up, we're going to go to a song break, but coming up, we're going to talk to the principal, the assistant principal. We've got some students lined up. Apparently, rumor has it pizza is really popular, but I will get those facts for you. I'm Adam Walsh. This is The Signal. We are live at Rennie's River Elementary School today in the cafeteria area, the lunch serving area, I should say. We're talking about school food. We're talking about what's being served, how it's being served, why school food is so important, and a provincial outlook on where things are headed. But first, a very, very important conversation, because nothing happens with school food without the people who are serving it up. And I've got the very experienced veterans here. They're all, are you all grade 6? Yes. All right, grade 6. Okay, let's do a splash of names. One extra person come up. Okay, so I'll get you all to introduce yourselves.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, yeah.
I'm Karin.
Hi.
I'm Ahmed. I'm Luna. Skyla.
All right, first of all, when I asked you how old you thought I was earlier, what did you folks say?
I thought you were in your mid-20s, to be honest.
And what did you say?
100.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up because that was an important thing. You were both wrong. I'm 44. All right, so what were you doing today for school lunches?
Serving.
Serving. What were you serving?
Milk.
Milk. Do you like serving milk?
Yes.
What's your favorite lunch?
Goulash.
Oh, so today's a big day for you.
Yes.
Why do you like goulash?
Because it's my favorite.
Okay, well, that's a good enough reason for me. All right, what were you doing?
I was serving the garlic naan bread.
Do you like garlic naan bread?
Yes.
That's pretty good, eh?
It's really good.
What's your favorite lunch here?
Mac and cheese. I gotta say it's the best.
Now, why is it the best?
Well, to be honest, it's good and creamy. That's why I like it.
Okay, excellent. And what's it been like serving lunches?
What do I like about serving lunches? Well, I just like helping out people that wants their lunch, right?
Yeah, hey, I love it. Next, what were you doing today?
I was serving fruit.
All right, what food?
Fruit.
Oh, fruit. What kind of fruit?
I don't know.
Okay. Pineapple. What's your favorite? What's your favorite lunch here?
Pizza.
Yeah. What kind of pizza is the best pizza?
Just regular cheese.
Okay. So, how are you with pineapple on pizza?
Not good.
Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that was very clear. Yeah. All right. What were you serving today?
I was serving cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Yep.
Okay. How are the cucumbers? Do you like them?
Yeah, they're my favorite vegetables.
Favorite? Okay, right on. I didn't know that. Yeah, that is pretty good, aren't they? So then, that's your favorite vegetable. What's your favorite lunch?
My favorite lunch could be mac and cheese.
Oh, so we got another mac and cheese here. We got a goulash, we got pizza, we got mac and cheese. Favorite lunch?
The waffles.
The waffles? What kind of waffles? Are just regular waffles?
Yeah.
Do they put like syrup on them, or?
Yes, but yeah, syrup and like there's fruit and like the sausage.
That sounds amazing. I can see why it's your favorite. Thank you so much. And what are you doing next? What's after this?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's okay. You don't need to know. Thank you. All right. Thank you, servers. That was amazing. Excellent, excellent job. All right. Let me see. We've got Principal Jennifer Vokey Tobin and Shannon Goldsworthy, Assistant Principal, here in front of the mic. Great students.
They are. Awesome. We're very proud.
All right. How long have both of you been in the education field?
Oh my goodness, if we add it up, it's going to be a lot. I'm the principal. I've been in education for 25 years.
And I've been in 26 years.
Okay. So a bit of time.
Bit of time.
When you went into education, was food on your mind when you're thinking about teaching?
No, definitely not. It was just assumed. It wasn't the same as it is now. Mm-hmm. Definite changes over the years.
So then what has changed over the years?
Well, you recognize that the foundation of learning is a healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy belly.
Yeah.
And when you have students coming to school, if they're not set up with that healthy belly, then learning takes a back seat. They have to be fully fed and fully nourished in order to have their best learning environment.
When did you start to notice that? Like, was it in the classroom as teachers, or like when was it when you're like, oh my gosh, this is huge?
I think over the years it probably became, you start to notice little things, like you notice slightly before recess everybody gets a little bit antsy.
Yeah.
You notice that some people come in the morning sleepy, and they'll say, when they say they're hungry, they're recognizing their own needs, and you realize that they need breakfast, or they need recess, or they need lunch.
I think for myself, recognizing it, I don't think, like, as a substitute going into different schools, different classrooms, I don't think I recognized it in those times because they were just really short snapshots. I think when I recognized it was when I got to know the students a little bit more in depth and had those relationships established and could follow what they were eating day to day and connecting that to the behavior and to their learning.
Yeah. Tell me about this school.
About this school?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great school. So we're located at 150 Elizabeth Avenue here, right by Churchill Square in St. John's. It's a K-6 school. I came here about between 3 and 4 years ago. We had at the time 270 students, and now we have 350. We are growing exponentially.
That's a lot.
It
In 4 years.
It
270
is
to 350.
Yeah, it is a lot. We have a lot of new students, a lot of newcomers coming. We're a very diverse population, so that's one of the things we're the most proud of and most excited about coming to school every day. We have a lot of different cultures, a lot of different religions, a lot of different backgrounds, and like I said, we're K-6. It's an English school. We do have ICF in our grade 6 program. We have 15 homerooms. And it's a beautiful, beautiful school, beautiful community to be in.
Amazing. Talk to me a bit about the lunch program here. Like, how does it work each day?
The lunch program actually becomes part of a huge part of the learning here. So each day we have 2 lunches. We have the primaries come first, then we have the elementaries. The primary children, even the kindergartens, come down, collect their tray, go back upstairs, eat, and they collect them out their trays in bins when they're done. Everybody is responsible for their own space, their own lunches, and then we have their fabulous helpers. They go around and collect up our trays, and then we switch at 12:30, and the elementaries do the same.
And something that your listeners might find interesting is that the orders actually happen a month in advance.
Right.
So that's really important. We try to make sure that our families all understand that, because when the month arrives, we've already got the orders. Of course, the kitchen needs to know how much food to order. So say, for example, our February orders get placed in January. So there are certain deadlines that the parents and the families have to follow in order to get the lunches put in.
Yeah, I was looking at the menu, and then like the number the number changes these days. So it might be 171, 150, 140, right? Like depending on what families have on the go, and sometimes the popularity of the item. I mean, today is goulash day. I think it was a high enough number, and I was looking at some of the few of the other ones. So it's kind of neat to see.
Oh,
Pizza and waffles, both of those days, huge.
And the mac and cheese feedback I was getting from the crowd earlier, it sounds pretty darn good. With the they're still next to me. With the helpers, and they're decked out in their. Hold on, who can describe? What are you all wearing here?
I'm wearing a sweater.
Sweater. What's on top of your sweater?
An apron.
And what kind of apron?
A plastic apron.
Cool. And what's on your head?
A hairnet.
All right. So hairnets and thank you for that. Hairnets and plastic aprons. What's the importance of having students, and especially the older ones like grade 6 students, help out with lunches?
well, we feel that it creates leadership opportunities in our school. It allows them, of course, they learn about serving food and the importance of nutrition, but they also learn about hygiene and keeping clean with their hairnets and their aprons. And a lot of them take ownership of that and help do the collection of trays as well. So it's also keeping our school clean, helping our recycling program. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah, it's really, when you kind of list it all there, plus the learning about food and nutrition, there's a lot that gets kind of stacked up there for life lessons that it's like not classroom instructional type thing from back like when I remember going to school. It's kind of like you do stuff and you can learn through doing and being part of this kind of a activity.
Even portions as well, like learning as they're giving out the food, right? Even learning about portions.
And I'll ask again then, like, because to have all of that in school now compared to when you first did your training, what do you think about having all of this incorporated? Because it wasn't like that, and I'll use the royal we here for us because we're all around the same age, back when we were going through school in the 80s.
I feel like it demonstrates to the students as well what they're seeing themselves valued. They're seeing themselves as equals. They're seeing themselves, they're understanding that their well-being matters. So, you know, what the school lunch program does is it creates an inclusive environment where everybody is getting equal.
Yes, that equalizer thing, right?
Yeah, and they don't have that concern that no child should have, that they don't know where their next meal is coming from.
Yeah, and I can't imagine, right? You know, if you're a kid showing up to school, no lunch, right?
Right.
As opposed to, no, there's lunch, and we're all together in this, and we're, not only are we together in this, and are we getting food, we're learning about it, which is like, again, stacked on top of stacked for learning.
Absolutely.
And it's a very equitable program. Everybody is the same. Nobody knows. Everybody gets the same on their tray every day. Everybody gets equal responsibility. Everybody has equal opportunity to be a lunch helper. There's a lot of growth and a lot of education in it, I have to say.
All right, one more question for both of you. So for Principal Voki Tobin and Assistant Principal Golds, what's your favorite lunch?
Waffles, hands down.
I would say waffles.
Okay,
Waffles
so
is a
put
big
two more
day.
votes in the waffle category. I think we've equaled out with the mac and cheese, but then the pizza talk is it's still there too. I think we're going to talk to some more students. Who else do we have?
We do have a
around?
Kangsha, so we can go get her. She's
Yeah,
just
sure.
on the
And
other
we've got
side of the
there's been three who've been
cafeteria.
waiting patiently too.
She's great. She's
There
one
she
of
is.
our school lunch clients, and she's also one of our helpers. She's been great this year.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So what grade? 6.
Yeah, grade 6.
Grade 6. How's grade 6?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been good about it? What do you like about it?
My teacher's really fun, and the way we learn, and we go outside a lot. So like, learning outside is just better than
Oh yeah, especially, well, I mean, we had a fair bit of fog this spring, but on a day like today, and it's a little bit windy, but it's a gorgeous
Yeah.
St. John's Day for the rest of the province, just to let you know what the weather's like. What types of learning are you doing outside?
Outside yesterday we actually were supposed to go outside for social studies, but like we couldn't. So yesterday we learned about general stereotypes in social studies, and like how like people just assume that girls are supposed to put on makeup, or like boys are supposed to like be rough and aggressive, or like just people that make up their mind that one gender is supposed to do one thing, but like
So actually, we can do what we like doing, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think that's a really good lesson.
yeah,
What's it been like serving food and being part of the food thing this year?
it's fun.
Yeah?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about it? Why is it fun?
Miss Debbie is really nice, and she's super fun. My friends usually serve with me, so like it's not boring, and I enjoy it.
What for learning, right? So it's like portion sizes, learning about menus and
Yeah.
meals. What's that been like for you? What are some things that you've learned through food?
I've learned that veggies and fruits are really important for you, and
I have
you
to remind myself of that a lot.
Yeah.
So
you need protein and nutrition for your body to grow and learn,
yeah.
and yeah.
Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on grade 7? Looking ahead, are you excited about middle school?
I'm excited but a little nervous.
Yeah. It's a big adjustment, but I'm sure you're going to do great. Final question for you.
Yeah.
And this is like the vote is getting really tight here. What is your favorite lunch?
Probably mac and cheese and pancakes.
Mac and cheese again. All right, that is great. I think mac and cheese is now in the lead. That's the first one for pancakes. Thank you very much. All right, and I'm looking around. Can we get the 3 really, really patient students who've been sitting down right there for like the whole show, hovering around, waiting?
and Mix-7, Carolyn, come on
All
over.
right, it is your time.
They have been waiting so patiently. Come on over.
All right, we'll. Here we go. They've been waiting patiently. Ted Dillon's just adjusting the mic for everyone because these. What? Okay, everyone. What grade are we in?
Grade 2.
Grade 2.
Grade 2.
Grade 2. So grade 222. All right, and you want to introduce yourselves then? Tell me your names.
Lakshan Bala.
Hi, what's your name? Hi, and what's yours?
Carolyn.
All right, so what have you been doing so far today? What class did you have? Did you have math or gym or outdoors?
We had math.
You had math? Do you like math?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Why do you like math?
Because it's fun and you can talk to your friends.
Because it's fun and you can talk to your friends. I mean, that's a really good math class. All right. We're talking about food. It's goulash day. How do we feel about goulash?
Good.
Good? Good as well, or you're not sure?
Good.
Okay, we got goods from everyone. Now, is goulash your favorite lunch food?
No. No.
No?
No, it's not that much.
So wait, what's our favorites?
Pizza.
Pizza. Now, do you like pineapple on your pizza? No?
Yes.
Yes, we got the first yes for pineapple. Do you like sardines on your pizza? No. What do you like on your pizza?
Cheese and pepperoni.
Good choice. What do you like on your pizza?
The same.
It's the same, cheese and pepperoni?
Yep.
So no pineapple?
Yep.
What about sardines?
No. No.
No fish on pizza?
No.
Do you want, how about squid on pizza?
No. No.
What about a steak on a pizza?
No. Triple no.
Ice cream on pizza?
No. No.
Okay, so can't do fish here, fish allergies. Okay, so no fish anyways.
I don't have fish allergies.
Oh, you don't have fish allergies? All right, so what are you doing this afternoon?
Going outside.
Going outside. What's the weather like outside?
Sunny.
Okay, I will stop taking up all of your time. Great job on the interview. Thank you so much, and enjoy outside.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. All right, we got some grade 2 students talking about their culinary delights and what they like and don't like. Apparently, not sardines on pizza, but we did get a pineapple liker. This is The Signal. I'm Adam Walsh, live at Rennie's River Elementary here. We're talking about school food today, right? The importance of why school food is important, what it does for folks, what it does for families, what it does for students, what some of the learning is. In the next part of the show, we're going to find out the broader provincial plans for what folks are trying to do, some more on the listening that's been happening, the learning that's been happening, and where things might be headed for school food in this province. But first, let's do a little song break. So earlier we heard a tune by Tokyo Police Club playing Wednesday, June 19th, so next week, Iceberg Alley. St. John's Alt Pop Band with Violet is also playing. Here they are with Gravity. You're listening to The Signal. I'm Adam Walsh. We are live at Rennie's River Elementary School on a gorgeous near end of the year school day. The point of this show today is talking about school food, lunches, why it matters, where things are going with lunches across the province. My main guest is John Finn, Executive Director of the School Lunch Association. I'm loving the show so far. Thanks so much for lining all this up for me.
Adam, thank you so much for coming. We're loving it too, and thank you so much to the principal, Jennifer Wilkie-Tobin at Rennie's River, for allowing us to be here today, and the children for participating, and our good friends at the Department of Education for making all this work.
No, the green light is much appreciated, folks, for doing these types of shows, because I really like doing these types of shows because all the different conversations we're getting, I'm trying to, pardon the pun here, serve up a fulsome conversation so folks can understand more about school food. And here we are. It doesn't happen without procurement. Who are we going to talk to now?
Yeah, so your next guest is my favorite employee. I say that because there's about 100 employees that work with the School Lunch Association, but Janet Knox has been working for the School Lunch Association for 30 years.
30 years?
30 years. We've been in operation since 1989, so about 35 years, and she's been here for 30 of them. So she's pretty much seen it all. So from being in the kitchens to her current role, Janet single-handedly procures about $60,000 worth of food every single week for 42 different locations. So I'll turn it over to her, and she can tell you a little bit about what she's seen as the program started and where we are today.
Hey, Janet, thanks for doing this.
Hi, you're welcome.
So then, like, what was it, 93 or 94 you started?
94. September of 94.
So September 94, what was your job? It's a long time ago.
I'll be briefly. Food service worker.
Food service worker.
I started
Yeah, so what were you doing?
So food service worker would help the cooks, the lead cooks out. Like, I'll never forget, the first day I was hired, you're hired as a food service worker to help the cooks. And first question I asked was, how many kids do you feed a day? They said 500. I was saying 500? There's no way. I can't do that. I can't even help with that. Like, that's a lot of kids. 30 years ago. To me, it was very intimidating.
Yeah.
So you go from 500 up to 15,500 available a day. So how do you make that transition from 500 to 15,000?
How do you make that transition?
How do you make that transition, right?
I think everyone wants to know.
So when I started out, we had a central kitchen.
Yeah.
And we had 2 or 3 schools. I think the first school on board was Bishop Field, and then we had Holy Cross. So what we do, we had a central kitchen, so everything was made out of the central kitchen. Food was distributed out in a van, put in food warmers and distributed to the van, which would then in turn go to the schools. We'd have 3 bay warmers, and that's how the staff would serve on it. But to get the food to where it was going, it would be in the van in food warmers.
Yeah.
But as we got a little bit bigger, you know, a couple more schools come aboard, our menu changed, obviously. So we used to have soup on the menu, soup and sandwiches.
Soup in a van, that sounds
soup
like
in a van,
a recipe
what we had to do was sit on milk crates and hold the soup in between our legs to make sure it wasn't flopping all over the place, make sure it stayed there.
So, wait a minute. And
Yes.
like, it was hot
That's
soup at the time?
Hot soup, yes.
So hot soup, you're sitting on milk
So
crates.
you sit on milk crates and you're holding on to it,
hot
oven mitts,
soup.
and there's plastic around the top, and we had
So were you
plastic.
at what point were you questioning, what am I doing in my life?
Like, I've seen it all, right? So we went from like that was back in the early days.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we've done main kitchen,
Yeah.
which all this food was cooked at the main kitchen and distributed out.
Yeah.
We gave our main kitchen up. When we finished the main kitchen, we were averaging, say, 1,200 to 1,500 a day,
Yeah.
right? Which I absolutely loved and enjoyed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it, to me it wasn't work, it was fun.
Yeah.
Just knowing the reason why I was there, to feed those hungry children who needed something every day. And I had the pleasure of being out every day. Not every day, but I've served in a few schools. And there's nothing better when you see a child actually like eating that food and enjoying it so much. And one that sticks out in my head is this little girl at a particular school. She loves celery. Now, what kid usually likes celery?
Not a lot.
Like, not a lot, right?
Maybe a,
But she
dipping cheese whiz.
absolutely loved, and I could see the look on her face, and we had cheese sauce that she would dip it in. And just see the look on her face, how much she loved it. So anytime there was extras, you could well rest assured she was getting the extra. because I'm saying I'm so proud of her for allowing that in the first place. Well, just to go to show like the need was back there then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it's after growing so much since I started. And also, like our food choices now, as we're getting bigger, our food choices are becoming more healthier. Yes, of course, when I started out, you had your nuggets, you had your hot dogs,
Pogo
you had
sticks,
your fries.
pogo sticks, I was a fan of
Pogo
those.
sticks, we
Yeah.
definitely had. We had pogo sticks, we had it all, right?
Yeah.
Sweets every day, all homemade goods, because back then it was cheaper to make a cookie at 5 cents a serving
Yeah.
than it was to have fresh fruit. So it's after change and like so many changes over the years.
Yeah.
I can't even get into it all because I'll be here half the afternoon.
Well,
if I had to tell you my life story with the school lunch, how I started out as a food service worker to so many different roles to the role that I'm at now. But I think the most rewarding to me was when I would be in a school and I would cook for a child and, we'd be cleaning up after and they'd walk by and say, "Miss, thanks for the meal. It was delicious." And it was so heartfelt that they were so appreciative of what they had. And just knowing that they appreciated so much made your job so much better. And to me, it was never a job, it was enjoyment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every single minute of it. It was hard to put into words.
Amazing.
Right? It wasn't ever work to me. It was always fun and just knowing my purpose every day of feeding those children. It was absolute fun.
So now when school's over and then you're looking towards the fall gear up again, what's the first order like for you for food?
A nightmare. A nightmare. Now, you got to take all those schools and you got to, and we, like as I think the principal was saying earlier, like we're at where we have to pre-order food.
Yeah.
Food has to be ordered like a week in advance. So just say if a school was short on something, we'd have time to get it there. So it's a week in advance. And not only that, if and our menus vary per school. We go in categories. Like like certain parts of the city will have probably waffles on today. Someone else might have macaroni and cheese on. Someone else might have waffles on tomorrow. But at least if we're short, we got that buffer.
Yeah.
That we can take from one school to give to another. So we got time to. We are guaranteed our meal every day.
Wow.
Right?
Amazing.
So this takes a lot of organization, an awful lot of organization, and a bit of experience goes along with it. So with having a bit of knowledge, and what I do now, because I had the knowledge of starting out in the kitchen,
500
to any given day now, we can have 1,300 on the menu, 12 or 13,000 on the menu, as opposed to 500. Like we've grown astronomically.
Yeah.
Most of the time we were inner city schools, so that's why we were able to get the food carried around.
Yeah, you weren't driving to Clarenville with soup between your legs.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So what we would all do, we'd still have 5 or 6. We have food service workers that we had in the van.
Yeah.
So here we are, traveling van, every one of us,
Yeah.
sitting down in milk crates,
There you go.
putting food warmers. Right? I can go on and on and on.
Well, we'll pitch the CBC podcast for later so we can do more. Janet, thanks so much for the chat.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank
All right,
you.
See you now.
Okay.
Fantastic. I'm just thinking, so I'm sitting on milk crates now, driving around town with a big pot of soup between the legs, wrapped in plastic. Let's get to my early guests. We got John Finn coming back in and also Ashley Byrne. So let's, as we're winding the show down, what's the look ahead? Ashley, we'll go to you first. What's the look ahead? So what are you doing now coming in through the summer into the fall as we're trying to build further, as you're trying to build further for school food?
Yep, so I'll have a very busy summer. So we'll be continuing with our individual consultations.
Yeah.
So just kind of, it's me having chats with kind of anybody who's involved with school food. And we'll also be starting the focus groups actually coming up as well. So we'll be reaching out to a lot of individuals, kind of all the school food providers, again, food producers, food distributors, regional dietitians, the school health liaisons, everybody. And if anyone wants to reach out as well, we have also distributed surveys to teachers, staff, parents, and administrators, but we'll also be looking to host focus groups with them as well. So people are interested, our Food First website has all of my contact information and more information about the next steps for school meals, so they can reach out to me, and I'd love to chat with them and get them involved in the consultation process as well.
Excellent, thank you. John, you had some stuff to say at the end here.
Yeah, no, certainly. Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks, and thanks to Janet, who just spoke about her history. So she was referring to driving around with the soup. So now, just to give folks an idea, and your listeners, our 42 locations are essentially 42 individual restaurants. All food is prepared on site. So just to kind of point out the differences of where we were.
She just drives around for fun now with soup.
Yeah, exactly. But no, thank you to Janet, and a special thank you to the employees of the School Lunch Association. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. I work with a wonderful volunteer board of directors, but I would not be fortunate enough to be in this position if it wasn't for the folks, the volunteers and the boards of directors that had this vision 35 years ago to start this program. So I just want to say a special thank you to them, as well as the teachers and administrators across the province who make this program work for us each and every day. But moving forward, we'll be looking strategically as to how we can slowly, I guess, look at different areas around the province where there is a greater need, or schools which perhaps may not have a food provider. So we'll be doing that work very closely with Food First NL. We've been very pleased. The collaboration with the Department of Education, the Department of Health, Children's Senior Social Development, the investment in the file from the Minister of Education to the Premier has been huge. It's actually, we're being looked at as like a national model right now.
That's what I was going to say, because folks are looking at us, at this province here for what's being done, right, from other provinces.
Correct. Like, I just spent the better part of once a week between February, March, and April explaining our program to officials in Nova Scotia, to government officials, and they just announced a program that's basically going to be identical to ours across their whole province.
There you go.
So we're being looked at as a leader, and we're all kind of working together to see if we can make this happen, because at the end of the day, we're just feeding children. But the one important thing I do want to emphasize with respect to government investment, which is significant, and what will come from the national level with respect to a national school food program, whether governments subsidize these programs or not, I think the important message to your listeners and to the parents who pay and participate in our Pay What You Can model program is that governments provide grants and subsidies to charities all the time for a variety of reasons. School Lunch Association is just one of them. But charities also still need to run their programs and sustain revenue. So contributions from parents and donations from our good corporate donors continue to go a long way, and will need to continue to go a long way regardless of government investment. But the government investment to start will certainly help bring us to the areas that are in need.
John Finn, thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
I would like to bring in the principal again, Principal Voki Tobin, for one other little thank you so much for having this chat today. I really appreciate it.
It was really, really our pleasure. When John reached out, we would do anything. We really appreciate our partnership with the School Lunch Program, and are really, really happy to be able to help facilitate this here today. We sing school lunch praises whenever we can.
And I will say, I mean, for Miss Debbie working in the kitchen, amazing work that just to watch that today.
She is the heart and soul of a lot here in our school, and certainly the School Lunch Program. It all focuses all around her efforts. She's tireless, and she's so dedicated, and we're so lucky to have her.
And gosh, do students ever snap to if Miss Debbie makes a strong suggestion around a noise, because all of a sudden you could hear crickets.
She has got it. She has got it under control.
Really
yeah, she's great.
It was amazing. Thanks again. Like I said, enjoy your summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for everyone's participation.
All right, folks, that is it for the Signal live on location at Rennie's River Elementary School. We're talking all about school food lunches. We're going to have clips of the show up afterwards on the old YouTube, either later today or tomorrow. But go to the CBC Newfoundland Labrador's YouTube page.